There is a moment right before a relationship dies when you can feel something inside you go completely quiet, like your heart is holding its breath. And for me, that moment happened on a random Thursday night while the TV played some loud commercial neither of us were watching. She sat on the edge of the couch, arms crossed, jaw tight, not angry, but done. The kind of done you can't fix with flowers or promises. And she looked at me with tired eyes and said the words that hit harder than anything life had thrown at me. Just disappear from my life. No explanation, no softness, no fight left. Just a cold request like she was asking me to turn off a light before leaving. I sat there stunned because we'd been together 4 years and I thought we were building something real, something steady, something two people could hold on to. But she stared at me like she was looking at a stranger she regretted ever letting in. She kept talking, saying she needed space, she needed excitement, she needed someone who matched her energy. Whatever that was supposed to mean, and she said it all like she had practiced it in the mirror 100 times. She even threw in a little laugh, the disrespectful kind, and said, "It's not like anyone would chase after you anyway." That one hit hard because she meant it, truly meant it, and it made me realize she didn't just want me gone, she wanted me to feel small on the way out. So I left. Not because I wanted to, but because staying somewhere I wasn't wanted felt worse than walking into the unknown. For days, I kept replaying her words, wondering how love could turn into something so sharp and cold, wondering how someone who once held my hand now wanted me erased like a name on a chalkboard. But life has a strange sense of humor, a strange way of giving you what you never thought you'd get the moment you stop begging for it. Because a week after she pushed me out, I met someone I never expected to see again, her cousin, Emma. I ran into her at a local grocery store right between the cereal aisle and the bakery section, the most ordinary place for something life-changing to happen. Emma recognized me first, smiled with this warm, genuine smile that made the world feel less heavy, and said, "Hey, I haven't seen you in forever. Are you okay? You look like you've been through it." I laughed, a tired laugh, and said, "Something like that." And she tilted her head the way people do when they actually care about the answer. We talked for a few minutes, then a few minutes turned into a half hour, and somewhere between talking about work and life and everything in between, I realized she was listening, really listening, in a way her cousin never had. When we said goodbye, Emma touched my arm gently and said, "If you ever need someone to talk to, call me." And she handed me her number written on a small receipt. I didn't call right away. I didn't want to look like I was running into someone else's arms out of pain, but the truth was I kept thinking about her smile, her kindness, the way she made the air feel lighter. A few days later, I finally texted her, something simple like, "Hope your week is going well." And she replied within a minute, like she had been waiting for me to show up in her world again. One conversation turned into 10, and 10 turned into late-night talks about everything. Fears, dreams, stupid jokes, childhood memories, the kind of conversations that make you forget the world outside the screen. Emma was soft where her cousin had been sharp, warm where her cousin had been cold, real where her cousin had been cruel, and I found myself waking up excited to see her messages, excited to feel wanted again. One night she asked if I wanted to grab coffee, and I almost said no out of guilt, but something inside me whispered, "You deserve this." When she walked into the cafe, wearing a simple denim jacket and that bright smile, something clicked inside me, something I didn't know had been missing for years. We talked like old friends who accidentally fell into each other's lives at the perfect time, and when she laughed at one of my terrible jokes, she touched my hand lightly and said, "I always liked you, you know. I just never said it." I froze because I wasn't expecting that. Not from her, not from anyone, not after being told I wasn't worth chasing. And then she said the thing that broke something open in me. "You were always too good for her." It felt like hearing truth for the first time. The next weeks were a blur of emotions, long walks, late-night talks, quiet moments where everything felt peaceful for the first time in a long time, and somewhere in all of it, I realized I wasn't disappearing. I was being found. Then the day came when her cousin, and said the same woman who shoved me out like I was nothing, showed up at my door out of nowhere. She looked angry, confused, jealous, all at once, and she demanded, "Are you seriously seeing someone?" I didn't say a word. She pushed further. Who? Who would even want? And then she stopped, eyes widening like she had been hit by lightning. "Emma," she whispered. I nodded once, steady, not ashamed, not hiding, just honest. She stepped back like the truth physically pushed her, shaking her head, saying, "No, no way. She wouldn't choose you." But she already had, and I looked her in the eyes and said the calmest sentence of my life. "You told me to disappear from your life. I just listened." She didn't like that answer, but for the first time in years, I wasn't trying to please her. I wasn't trying to shrink myself. I wasn't trying to beg for value. I walked away from the woman who broke me and walked toward the one who saw me. And the best part? I didn't disappear. I just stopped living where I wasn't wanted. And somehow, by letting go of the wrong person, I ended up with the right one, her cousin.